So our discussion is going to be on flow nozzle, dial tube and pitot tube. Let's see about the flow nozzle. When a flow nozzle is placed in a pipe carrying whose rate of flow is to be measured, the flow nozzle causes a pressure drop which varies with the flow rate. This pressure drop is measured using a differential pressure sensor, and when calibrated, this pressure becomes a measure of flow rate. Now I'll just show you how a practical flow nozzle would look, where in our day-to-day lives you would have seen it in our petrol pumps to pump petrol or diesel into different vehicles. Moving into the description of flow nozzle, the main parts of flow nozzle arrangement which is used to measure the flow rate is given as below. A flow nozzle which is held between the flanges of pipe carrying the fluid whose flow rate is being measured. The flow nozzle's area is minimum and its throat. The openings are provided at two places 1 and 2 for attaching a differential pressure sensor, which is a U-tube manometer or a differential pressure gauge as shown in the diagram. The fluid whose flow rate is to be measured enters the nozzle very smoothly to the section called throat, where the area is actually minimum. Before entering the nozzle, the fluid pressure in the pipe P1. As the fluid enters the nozzle, the fluid converges, and due to this the pressure keeps on reducing until it reaches the minimum cross-section area throat. This minimum pressure P2 at the throat of the nozzle is maintained in the fluid for a small length after being discharged in the downstream also. The differential pressure sensor attached between the points 1 and 2 records the pressure difference P1 minus P2 between these 2 points, which becomes an indication of the flow rate of the fluid through the pipe whenever calibrated. Moving on to the applications, it is used to measure flow rates of the liquid discharged into the atmosphere. It is usually used in situations where suspended solids have property of settling, is widely used for the high pressure and temperature stream flows. Into the advantages, the installation is easy and it's cheaper while compared to the Venturi meter. It is very compact and also has high coefficient of discharge. And the disadvantages, the pressure recovery is low, maintenance is high, installation is difficult when compared to the orifice flow meter. We have come to the end of flow meter now. Now, next in line is the dial tube flow meter. The construction is a dial tube has a higher ratio of pressure developed to pressure loss than the Venturi flow tube. It is more compact and it's commonly used in large flow applications. The flow rate and the pressure drop are related as shown in the equation. V is equal to K root of dP, where V is the volumetric flow rate, K is the constant derived from the mechanical parameters of the primary elements, and dP is the differential pressure. Now this diagram which is shown here tells about the dial tube which is fitted into an industry to measure the flow rate. The advantages are dial tube has a higher ratio of pressure developed to pressure loss than Venturi flow tube. It is more compact and is commonly used in large flow applications. Very low permanent pressure drop, energy savings, easy to install, short overall lengths, accurate flow metering of clean classes, liquid and stream, negligible wear and erosion, therefore require less maintenance and inspection. The disadvantages are more complex to manufacture, sensitive to turbulence, and the applications are flow measurement in gas transmission pipelines, flow metering of clean gases, single phase flow measurement of hydrogen carbon gas, and flow measurement in circular pipes. So this is the end of dial tube flow meter. So the last meter what you're going to study is the pitot tube flow meter, an obstruction type primary element used to mainly for the fluid velocity measurement is the Pitot tube. When you look into the diagram, this tells exactly the principle of working of a Pitot tube, where this diagram shows that the flows around a solid body. When a solid body is held centrally, now this is it, and stationary in a pipeline with a fluid streaming down due to the presence of the body, the fluid while approaching the object starts losing its velocity till directly in front of the body where the velocity is zero. This point is known as the stagnation point where it becomes zero. As the kinetic head is lost by the fluid, it gains a static head by measuring the difference of pressure between the normal flow line and the stagnation point. The velocity is thus found out. This principle is used in Pitot tube sensors. Now the simplest Pitot tube consists of a tube with an impact opening of 3.125 mm to 6.35 mm diameter pointing towards the approaching fluid. This measures the stagnation pressure. Now here again you have the definition of your stagnation point, and when we look into the diagram, this is a common industrial type Pitot tube. Now here we can say that a common industrial type Pitot tube consists of a cylindrical probe inserted into the air stream. The fluid flow velocity at the upstream faces the probe and is reduced substantially to zero. Velocity head is converted to impact pressure, which is sensed through a small hole in the upstream face of the probe. Now this is the place where we have the small hole. So a corresponding small hole in the side of the probe senses the static pressure. A pressure instrument measures the differential pressure, which is proportional to the square of the stream velocity in the vicinity of the impact pressure sensing hole. Now this diagram tells you how a typical Pitot tube would look. The total pressure developed at the point where the flow is stagnated is assumed to occur at the tip of the Pitot tube or at a specific point on a bluff body immersed in a stream. Now this tube causes practically no pressure loss in the flow stream. It is normally installed through a nipple inside the pipe. It is frequently installed through an isolation valve so that it can be moved back and forth across to the stream, establish the profile of the flow velocity. Now here we say that for a high velocity flow streams, it is required to provide necessary stiffness and strength. So as a result, the Pitot tubes are generally used only in low to medium flow gas applications. For high accuracy, it is not needed. The second diagram which is put up here tells you about the averaging Pitot tube or the Annubar. To obtain a better average value of flow, special two-chamber flow tubes with several pressure openings distributed across the stream are available as shown in this picture. These annular averaging elements, they are called as annubars. They consist of a tube with high and low pressure holes with a fixed separations. Now here we say that the flow that passes through the sensor, it creates a low pressure profile, and working on the same as a principle as high pressure aside, an average low pressure signal is produced in the low pressure chamber. Moving on to the advantages and disadvantages. No pressure loss, it is relatively simple, it is readily adopted for flow measurements made in very large pipes or ducts. The disadvantages are pure accuracy, not suitable for dirty or sticky fluids, and fluids containing solid particles, sensitive to upstream disturbances. And the practical and the easiest understanding of Pitot tube is a Pitot tube is fixed in an aircraft or an aeroplane. Now the arrow marks tells you how the pitot tube is going to look and fitted into it. Now here we use it in order to find out the air pressure. See, this is the closer view of your pitot tube. As I've told you, there's a small opening nozzle to let the air inside to measure the pressure. So with this we have come to the end of all the three tubes. We've studied about your flow nozzle, your dal tube as well as your pitot tube. Thank you.